Welcome to episode 9 of the Michigan Outdoors podcast. As always, I'm Tyler Mihai alongside Justin Tomei and Steve Wyndham. We're joined by a very special first-time guest today.
First time.
Air quotes, first time.
Our Michigan Outdoors Youth Camp Director, Shannon Stover. We are available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, SoundCloud, and a video edition on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you're not already, follow us on Instagram as well at Michigan Out of Doors Pod. And the Michigan Outdoors podcast is proud to partner with Onyx Hunt. Join the millions of hunters who trust Onyx Hunt to help them fill their freezers. Create hunt strategies for your property with custom waypoints, view wind forecasts for individual stand sites, integrate with cell cameras, and so much more. Onyx is essential for hunters to understand property lines, find an eScout public land and other hunting spots, and all of the other tools to give yourself the best possible chance at a successful hunt. All current MUCC members are eligible for a 1-month free trial of Onyx Elite and an additional 20% off your annual membership. New MUCC members will get a free 3-month trial of Onyx Elite in their welcome email when signing up. To find your current membership discounts, log into your MUCC member portal and click on the membership discounts link to see all of the benefits of being an MUCC member. Join MUCC today to take advantage of these offers. So we are back for episode 9. It's been a little bit of a while since we released an episode, so this is the first of the year. How's everyone doing?
Doing good.
You're slacking.
Feels like a long time
On the
since we've
pod.
talked.
Yeah, that's why we joke about Shannon being a first-time guest. We had technical difficulties for our Christmas episode, and that's why you didn't hear from us.
So this is not Shannon's first recording. It is the first time you will hear her on
Yes.
the podcast. Hopefully not the last. I know she loves to be
No.
in front of the camera.
I love to chat.
Yeah.
It is. Getting her in front of cameras and seeing how uncomfortable it makes her is one of our guilty pleasures in the office. You'll
It
notice.
does not. Tyler literally admitted at the show this weekend that for him being marketing and advertising, how uncomfortable he gets and nervous about getting.
I don't get uncomfortable. I just don't love doing
He's
it.
still new.
He was nervous about pulling the whole Steve clapping.
Yeah, I did a
every
little
time
slow
he
clap in
talked.
one of the videos, and some people called that out.
It's a
The
Steve-
slow clap is the best.
Wait, when
It's
did
not
he have
the-
to do the slow clap?
Well, I
No,
introed at the show. I was like, welcome, or
Yeah, it's
whatever I
like-
said.
It's not
Yeah.
a slow clap. It's a.
It's a
before
single
these
clap.
guys talk before recording anything, they're like this. All right, guys, welcome
Oh,
back.
Gotta
Okay.
get the energy going.
I got you.
know?
Just
You
the
gotta
the
pump
hut.
yourself up.
Hut
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Well, yeah, Steve says that because that's what he does
It
before. the
couldn't
pod.
have been more corny than Steve's Scooby Doo video that he made at the beginning.
You
of
didn't
the
like
show.
the
What?
fish eye? It was zoomed in on the fish
No,
eye.
I did
and
not.
like it
Artistic.
zoomed out. It was so great.
Ah.
It showed the fish and it had the whole booth.
I didn't see that.
It was
Thursday.
Thursday's post. So that
Oh,
was a good one.
Steve loves a good zoom in.
Oh, it was-
come in.
When I'm watching it, I'm imagining, you know, the transitions in the old Scooby. Well, you're probably too young to remember the old Scooby Doo. When they'd be
I
like,
was
you know what I'm talking
Well,
about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, good job.
So
And the music on Instagram sucks though. Like I was trying to like
You-
find a good song.
you
This was
picked
like
the
the only
most
Searching
country
song.
bumpkin.
It was like the only rock song I
Stereo-
could find at
Rock.
all.
Oh, it
I
has
tried.
rock.
We
It
can
was
only have
like-
rock or country. in the
I
background
I
of
didn't
our
want to put
music.
some lame Taylor Swift song or something.
It was
Oh,
a
wait, hold
lame
on.
country
We're about to
instrumental.
get attacked by the Swifties if you say
Bring
that.
it.
They've
She,
taken
her
down.
music
Us.
sucks, and so do you for liking it.
Yes.
Yep. So this is our last podcast episode after they destroy us.
Well,
Well, let's get into policy a little bit. We've had a lot of things happen since the last time that we've talked.
Yeah.
Come on, Justin.
So 23-24 legislative session is over. If you,
You just did the
Slow
clap.
I
You
did.
just did the
Oh.
clap.
I did. You put it
See?
in my mind, so
It's
now I'm
the
going to do
clap.
it every time. The 23-24 legislative session is over. If you somehow don't have the internet, you didn't see what happened at the end of session where Republicans walked out over a host of issues, and a few hours later, Representative Karen Whitsett from the Detroit, I think Detroit is her like the official city when you write it down. But anyways, she left too, and there was no quorum for the House to finish their business. So a bunch of stuff died on the House floor. The Senate powered on. They did like a 30-hour session to finish. Like I watched until midnight one night, went to bed, woke up, and I saw a tweet from a senator at 5:45. They're still going. I turned it back on. I watched till like noon.
You go overnight.
Yeah, they went 30 hours. I mean, they went from 10 a.m. to like 4 p.m. or something.
you
So-
didn't stay up and watch it all night.
No, my bills were done. I watched, like I said, I watched till midnight, and then I watched from like 7:30 a.m. to when they finished. So, thank you for
working
my
hard enough.
sacrifice. Anyways, but the result of it was really not a lot happened. At least in the conservation world, basically, the couple conservation, like pro conservation bills we were following died because of a lack of action. And then lame duck for MUCC was mostly defense on gun stuff, and almost all of it failed. So I would view lame duck from MUCC's perspective as fairly successful. The session overall was extremely successful. We got a lot of big pieces of legislation done. Some of it we've been working on for 20 years. So, but now we start 24-25. And part of one of the things that died was the license fee increase bill, 6229 and 630. Those both died on the House floor due to lack of action last session. And negotiations have already begun for 25-26 legislative session on those. So that's
They're going to be reintroduced?
maybe. Well, something will be introduced, yes. What it looks like is to be determined. Will it be a carbon copy? I doubt it. I think that there's going to be some more robust negotiations before a bill's actually drafted. The boat registration fee may end up being largely the same. That one's less controversial because it hasn't been updated in 30 years.
That was strictly a lack of action.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was the same. It was two bills back to back, and they just didn't have time. So that may come back largely more as a carbon copy, but we'll see. We'll see what it looks like. So that's the legislative stuff. We're still waiting on committees. It's probably a couple weeks from now until committee assignments are actually put out. So we don't know what the committee structures look like in the House. The Senate will probably be almost entirely unchanged. And then, our legislative priorities will be out hopefully in the next couple weeks. So you can see what MUCC wants to work on. Spoiler alert, the big ones are going to be hunter safety in schools. That bill almost got done last year. That'll be a good one. Modernization of commercial fishing. So this is going to be very similar to the legislation we supported last year to modernize commercial fishing, but keep sport fish out of game nets, or sport fish out of commercial nets, excuse me. And then kind of just a generic, continued defense of Proposal G, trying to keep the legislature out of game management decisions so we don't get referendum. So anything you guys want to know about that anymore?
I think
No?
I'm good.
I have the most exciting job in the office, guys. I can talk about legislation all day. You want to know the only thing worse than reading legislation?
Being
Hearing
at-
about it.
Writing it.
Yeah.
So what was our stats though? How many? I know you said we had a bunch of stuff. We had some big wins. What were the stats from our prior? What was our legislative stats last year?
So I tracked over 200 bills. I engaged on 59. I don't have the numbers in front of me, so I'm trying to remember. I think it was 59 bills engaged on. Of the 59, 14 bills we supported became law. We defeated 15 bills we opposed. And then 5 bills that we opposed became law. So those were the gun control bills.
Those were at the end of 23 though.
They were
Right?
at the beginning of 23. It was like March of 23 was 4 of the 5.
Yeah.
There was one bill right at the end that got through, but it was just another part of the gun control stuff. So yeah, it was the gun control bills were really the only thing that we lost on. So, when we got involved in conservation laws, we tended to do pretty well. So,
But while those even were pushed through because of the supermajority Democrats held in the House, the Senate, and
not
the
a super
governor's
majority,
office,
but majorities. Yeah.
the majorities, but then we altered those bills
Yes.
in order for them not to affect our outdoor heritage.
Yeah, so for instance, one of the gun control bills, its first iteration would have made it illegal for your kid to hunt, even on your own property, to hunt alone, excuse me. And so we were able to get some language put in that bill that so long as your kid is following, you and your child are following all applicable game laws, that kid can still take a gun out and hunt on its own. Also, like the safe storage bill, like if a kid put a finger on a gun, that technically would have constituted a crime. And we were able to get some language in there where something actually has to happen. They have to take the gun off the premises or somebody has to get hurt.
And in the same vein, it would have affected all the high school trap teams and all that stuff too.
Yeah, there were
right?
implications across the board. We got a lot of positive changes into them. I mean, I equated it as far as MUCC's policies to putting some mustard on a turd sandwich.
Yeah.
But we did make a lot of positive changes and minimize the negative impacts of
Those ridiculous bills.
those gun control bills on, hunting, trapping, outdoor recreational shooting. So, yeah, that's the legislature. NRC meeting was last Thursday. There was nothing consequential on the agenda other than people being upset about the solar array, which we'll talk about next. If you haven't watched it yet, our video is on Facebook at minute 43 on the long video. You will see what all the hot buzz is about that meeting where a gentleman's probably not the right word. I would
Probably
not
not
say
the
he
right
was
word.
particularly gentlemanly at that meeting. He went on a wildly inappropriate rant to all the commissioners and the director. And that clip of it has gone pretty viral.
Yeah.
So NRC meeting, the next one is in February on the 13th, I believe. There's nothing on the agenda for information or action. So
Is
They
that
can
one
have
in
some-
Lansing?
yeah, it's at the downtown campus, downtown LCC. So
They're gonna have some high security this time.
well, they always have a few COs. And actually, when that guy finished, he got his stuff and walked out, and that's when he kissed my ass. And then the COs, at least one of the COs, followed him all the way to his car.
Mm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they followed him out.
Yeah, I was wondering that.
I was talking to him after, like, I'm surprised you guys, like, somebody didn't get him to say something. He goes, we were watching closely.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that they let him, that the chair let him keep going.
Yeah.
Because he was, like, naming people's houses and stuff. It was,
Yeah. He's telling the value of their homes, and it was.
He wasn't even right, though.
Yeah, it was pretty
if you-
wild. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it.
We were
So-
talking to some
Yeah.
COs at the show this weekend, and they were saying that they, ahead of time before NRC meetings, they all get together and they're like, all right, this person's showing up, this guy's showing up, get ready for him, get ready for her.
Oh,
Yeah, they
yeah,
know.
yeah.
They know
They're
some names.
very aware.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing, this is my own, well, slightly my own personal thing. There's a woman that comes to the NRC meetings. I'm not going to name her now. She's an anti-hunter, anti-everything. And man,
You just have to watch. And you'll
she
know
just
who-
goes up there. She just makes stuff up.
Yeah.
Oh, they're trying to get wolves delisted so they could poison them. I'm just like, why do people let her? I've gone up there and said things. There was one, she went up there and started railing against trapping, and I just got back from Trappers College, and I went to the commission meeting. I'm like, the Indiana state biologist was pretty freaking excited because we caught and released unharmed 4 badgers, and they didn't know they had badgers in that area. Like, it's an excellent biological tool. And I said, people need to stop letting these baseless, asinine claims go unfounded. And I'm sitting there and I see Deputy Director Lott, who was chairing that meeting, just look at that woman in the middle. And I'm like,
Good.
so a couple people, but anyways, don't be afraid to challenge those people.
Yep.
They're just making stuff up to make you and I
Mhm.
look bad.
Well, that's why we have Proposal G.
Yeah.
To not let that stuff happen, supposedly.
Anyways,
Mhm.
that woman.
So that was it, right? Nothing else big?
Yeah,
No?
nothing else
Yeah.
has happened that's
Yeah.
taken up my
Yeah.
entire time
Yeah.
back since Christmas. Like, DNR's not trying to clear cut 400 acres of woods for a solar array. I mean, who would be crazy enough to propose that
Yeah.
idea?
So that happened.
Yeah, so that naturally, that was the next thing that happened. If you've been living under a rock and don't have access to any form of media, and you still use cuneiform to communicate, the Department of Natural Resources is proposing actively, I guess, still technically, a 420 acre parcel up near Gaylord to remove all the trees on the property and put in a solar array. It has been, let's just say it's gone suboptimal from the department's point of view.
Mhm.
It blew up very bad. My guess is that somebody leaked the news before they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Hmm.
And man, legislators are calling for heads. Members of the public are furious, as one guy at the NRC said. So,
Mhm.
MUCC does have policy on it. I'm not going to read the whole statement, but I like the way that this ends. So, our policy is not to immediately reject all solar siting proposals. Approved lands should only be used on lands that are ill-suited for other uses after public review and scrutiny on the process of site selection and with tandem land acquisitions to recoup lost acreage. The lease payments received should also be put into one of many constitutionally protected restricted funds to improve habitat and recreation. Basically, the department needs to be much more clear about the lands that they consider for these arrays, the definition that they use for marginal land, which I understand is fairly subjective, but at least if they were able to do that publicly, we would all
Well,
know.
with transparency, you could.
Yeah, the subject,
have
the
a say, have a-
subjectivity is fine
Mhm.
as long as everybody at least has a clear basis from where we're starting.
Yeah.
Right now, that we don't. And then the last one is the scorecards that they use to score these parcels, so that we know what they're looking at when they go through it. And the same thing, still fairly subjective, but again, at least
Yeah.
we'll have that base knowledge, and there can be some public input on what that looks like. So I've communicated all of this to the director and the director of public lands and some other DNR staff directly. They know our position on it. I think they understand now that trust me, bro, is probably not the best mechanism
No,
for
not at
deciding
all.
these lands. Um,
Well,
Well,
some
it-
would say MUCC hates solar then.
No,
We've
we
been
do
hearing
not.
So that's
And
the issue with it.
Some would say ever since this happened.
Shannon would never.
Shannon would not say that.
No.
No,
I'm
well-
not pulling a Logan, but I'm just trying to give you. So this is what some people are saying. So what do you have to say to that? I mean, you just read it and it clearly
Yeah.
states where we
don't-
land on it.
We
but-
don't just hate solar, but that's what it is for a lot of people. A lot of people just do hate solar. My response to that, what I've been telling people is, the department, they own brownfields. They own bombed out quarries that nobody hunts or fishes or traps or does anything of any meaningful value at. And I'm not even saying that this piece in Gaylord is a particularly
Pristine,
useful- Yeah,
yeah.
It's probably not the best hunting from what I understand it. Why they selected it makes sense.
There is also massive solar installation on private land
Yep.
right next to it.
But before, just the optics of cutting down trees are bad. I don't know what the ill-suited for other uses definition needs to be,
Mhm.
but I can tell you nobody's hunting a brownfield.
Yeah.
Like there has to be some brownfield somewhere that would be just as well suited.
Well, that was something I thought was interesting too. I mean, we had a lot of people come up to us at the show this weekend, obviously, and ask about it, and members, non-members, just general public. And what I found was really interesting is a lot of people, anecdotally, were not voicing that they were anti-solar, which
yeah.
is not something you see that often when it comes to a DNR decision. It's people are usually either on one side or the other. A lot of people
Yeah.
were, not anti-solar, but it's again, it's that transparency, it's the process, it's the public input. People were interested in getting solar on public lands. It's just a matter of having the transparency, explaining the process, and having public input.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do realize that there is way more ill-suited lands for recreation than a living forest. So
Mhm.
like these brownfields, these mines, whatever it is, like a lot of people, I think what I heard was like, why not go put it somewhere else? Like, why does it have to be why do you cut down trees to put up solar? So I think
Well-
that's what a lot of people want is that transparency. And it's nice for us to be kind of like the adult in the room because a lot of people, I did hear a lot of just F solar because people just don't want solar.
Yeah.
But when you get into it, like, it's really not any different than a mining lease or a gas and oil lease. It's still public land
Well,
being leased.
I disagree on the gas and oil, and I gave it to the
I
department
think
about
the
this one.
footprint is smaller and there's less destruction, and you can manage habitat with a gas or oil
Correct,
lease.
exactly.
So I acknowledge that, but the state's got to make money
'Cause-
somehow.
Well, the
So-
department kept making that argument to me, and I pushed back on that
Yes,
hard.
I agree that
because-
it's not the exact same, but
I've killed a lot of turkeys on a gas line. I hunt a gas line
yep,
up
me
in
too.
Kalkaska near my dad's house, and the difference is a lot of the oil and gas infrastructure already exists on the landscape.
Mhm.
So even those leases are leasing existing.
Yeah, we hunt a
Infrastructure.
gas line in Moorestown up
But
in the Dead Cream
the
Swamp.
only part of a gas line you can't hunt is that little teeny tiny wellhead. The rest of it's
Yeah.
open. This is
Mhm.
clear cutting 400 acres of
Putting the
woods.
fence
Not
up.
for, and again, clear cutting's fine. Great timber management value, great habitat value. Clear cutting is an essential tool for the department for
And
those
it's a
purposes.
it's a timber practice too,
Right,
a forestry
exactly.
practice,
This is cutting it down, putting up an 8-foot barbed wire fence and a bunch of solar arrays.
and
paving
never
roads.
letting it grow back.
And the leases are 25 to potentially 40 years. So I pushed back really hard on the oil and gas. I did not think that was a sincere analogy comparison that they were using. So where we stand with the solar panels now though is the company that wanted it looks like they're backing out. It's not necessarily the end of it. The department's still going to continue with the process that they've already kicked off. I don't know if that means it's going to end in an RFP still or end in a lease. It may go through the public comment period, the public input period, whatever you want to call it, for however long the department allows, and it may just fizzle away to nothing. That's all to be seen. But yeah, that's where we're at on it. It has consumed an inordinate amount of my time since the January 3rd.
Yeah,
Um,
Thursday or something.
Yeah, so solar panels, state land. I mean, a year ago, we would have meetings with the Conservation Coalition in the room right on the other side of this wall, and we would joke, like literally laugh at the idea that the department would ever actually go cut down a significant amount of trees for a solar array. And it's honestly, I can't believe we got to that point. I definitely think the department was kind of caught flat-footed. They weren't necessarily ready for this to be public yet. I mean, it would have had to have been. I'm not intending they were trying to hide something. It has to go through public steps in order to happen. But
I mean, there should have been a public comment period.
so there was going to be. So with a transaction that big, eventually there's going to have to be. There's statutory triggers that would have forced them to once the public notice had gone up. Public notice hadn't even gone up yet. So I think it hit a week or two. What's that?
Who is the snitch?
I don't. Well, I have an idea, and I'm pretty sure the department knows who did it.
Don't
but
burn your sources.
It's not. Well, they didn't leak it to me, but I've seen
Come on, we want the tea.
M Live name some names. I can tell you that. I mean,
Was
there
it not
was
through
There you
FOIA?
go.
there was some FOIA.
Yeah.
There was some FOIA requests that were made that have names on them. Now, I don't know that person was the leaker or not. It could have been somebody else, but it's been pretty open in M Live that there were people within divisions that didn't think this was a good idea. So
I got some inside knowledge of the show on Thursday that
trust me, I know a lot more than I can tell you.
One of the DNR's volunteers that was supposed to be running the booth at Fishing Show got a call from the top to say you need to not go to the show anymore because one of the projects that they were working on was this giant solar panel project. So they were told to not go and stand in the booth with the seat, just to.
I had heard about that too, and I think
keep
I
them
know
out
what
of
you're
the
talking
public's
about.
eye.
That's smart.
But that was almost a security thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean.
I mean, so the director of public land, Scott Whitcomb, all around good folk. He was deputy director for a while when Dan Eichinger moved over to Eagle.
Yeah.
Scott Whitcomb, long time, public servant, been at the department, director of public. He's getting threatened, and it's if you do that,
yeah,
F you. So can we flip people off on the thing?
Sure.
Okay. So I did. But yeah, it's dude, just come on. Treat people with respect, people. It's stupid.
Let me
Yeah.
echo a question that I've seen a lot on social media, and people are asking at the show as well. Obviously, solar is not inherently bad, and we're not against solar. The clear cutting is obviously the issue when it comes to solar because of the regrowth issues. A lot of people are wondering. I know Michigan State has done this recently, and you might not know the answer. Michigan State.
I know everything.
Yeah. Okay. Michigan State developed over their parking
gosh.
lot in one of their a couple of their commuter lots. They did the solar panels over the parking lot, which, number one, you get solar power. Number two, you're protecting the cars that are parking underneath. A lot of people are wondering, why aren't they looking at stuff like that? Is that infrastructure? Is it costs?
So I do kind of know the answer. Well, first of all, the department doesn't own any parking lots.
Sure, but we could lease.
No, but then
the
the
department
the
doesn't-
utility company
I'm
would
saying
lease
this.
it.
Why would the solar companies want to lease public land versus lease private land that has less of an impact?
Probably size of the array.
Yeah.
And proximity
Yeah.
to transmission
Does it
lines.
have to do with the other solar panels
It has to be
next door?
yes, because the infrastructure is there, the transmission lines are there, the station is there.
Like not
Yeah.
just a little power line. There was
Yeah,
a
yeah.
big power line cut through that property.
I mean, well, it's 1,000 acres over there, the private land one.
Something like that.
I thought it was
maybe.
more.
So it's a big installation that was on someone's private land
So-
that's sold to the utility company. So, and also they're targeting larger metropolitan areas. So like Gaylord is a bigger city up there. But I have the same question. Like, look at all the abandoned factories. Look at all the parking lots down in Detroit. You need it for that population center. There's a million places the state could have panels
So-
and it not be on state public land and
There's-
cutting down forests.
There's a few things about that. One, part of the MI Healthy Climate Plan is for every department to increase their air quotes green energy output.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why the department's even looking at it. As far as the department's concerned, since that's what MUCC primarily cares about, they don't have the parking lots to build solar arrays on. Third, there are, and I'm not an expert on these laws, but I know they exist. I've worked on them a little bit. There are like community solar caps, like only so much of a like a area's power
Like
can
school.
come from solar, and that's a utility company thing. So I'm not an expert on all that, if that just applies to residential, if that includes like some commercially zoned properties and things like that.
Yeah.
So there could be issues with that, and those are something people have been trying to tackle. I mean, both sessions that I've worked here. So it's a number of things, but from the department's perspective, they don't own the Walmart parking lots.
Yeah.
I mean, even the parking lots at a state game area is probably not worth it. So
So while all departments are being charged with this green and quote unquote green energy increase, that's their only options, really, right? It's windmills or
yeah.
or
But like
solar
some people
panels.
are talking like MDOT doing solar arrays in the medians and freeways, or whatever, Department of Corrections having solar panels on some of their prison lanes. So I mean, there's talks in other departments for their things too. It's just ours is the unique circumstance where it is publicly owned land that is publicly accessible to recreation. So it's a very, very, very different circumstance than those other departments coming up with this stuff. Now, the department does have solar where it makes sense. A couple years ago, they got a bunch of money in the budget to put solar arrays like their fish hatcheries.
Yeah.
It's going to cut down on their electric bill pretty substantially. so they're doing it there where it does make sense as well. But this, yeah, I mean, like I said, a year ago
Mhm.
we would laugh in the
Yeah.
room next
Well, I
door.
mean, this did get national coverage too. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
it was everywhere, and even Cal's Weekend Review covered it today on the day where we're recording, and they quoted us. And so, I mean, it blew up pretty hard in their
Mhm.
face.
Yeah, I told them it was. Well, here's the other thing: people don't understand the politics of it. Really, this all became a burden on me, because
You're the biggest
gotta
victim.
right,
make-
I'm the
Yeah,
biggest
you're the-
victim of
Make
this.
everything about
Yeah,
yourself.
exactly. No, but in all seriousness, like this is going to hurt come budget time for the department. Like there's conservation priorities that even MUCC wants that potentially are going to be hurt because of the political fallout of the timing of this.
Yeah,
So,
and that's foolish too, though, to like prove you're the big daddy and you want to like do things to the department. Like, it's ridiculous.
Let's
So-
not use the word big daddy ever again.
That's how it feels. Like it's like a bully.
Well, yeah.
well, on that note,
Anyways,
GK game calls.
So that's solar panels.
That's solar panels.
So
All right.
join MUCC so when shit like this happens, we can have a louder
Oh
voice.
my
There we go.
God.
So because when we
Good
put the call
plug.
to action to email the
You
director,
can email us at goatbigdaddy@mucc.org.
you sign off your email lovingly, Big Daddy.
If
So
you
join
send us
MUCC.
if you send us an email and sign it off Big Daddy, we'll give you a free.
We'll read it on the
sticker.
podcast.
We'll
Don't
give you a
we-
free T-shirt.
No, we won't give you a free T-shirt.
We'll give you a camp T-shirt, leftover camp
There you go.
T-shirt.
MUCC Daddy. We'll give you a
Shannon will
t-shirt
hand
that
deliver it
says
to
that.
you.
No, I will not.
All right, a big thank you to one of MUCC's newest partners, GK World Championship Calls. As a proud 100% Michigan-based company, GK has built a reputation for delivering customer service that is second to none. With some of the most accomplished callers in the world, they've been successful in winning every major title in the goose calling circuit. GK is also proud to be a sponsor of numerous hunting organizations all over North America that make it a priority to get the young men and women involved in the great sport of waterfowling. They strive to educate the youth on the importance of conservation, safety, and respect for the sport. MUCC members receive 20% off their order with our exclusive discount code found in your MUCC member portal. All right, so we've got some new seasons coming up. We finally have ice. This is the first time in what
Hang on,
feels
hang
like
on.
years.
We need to have a moment of silence for deer season being over.
It's not over yet.
Well, the urban archery is still going on, but not all of us live in urban centers. So, moment of silence for deer season.
Thank you for your service.
Steve, how was your deer
Okay.
season?
My deer season was slow and uneventful.
The one day,
Happens
Twice.
To the best
2
of
days.
them.
Okay.
Yep. It was a
Raise your hand if you shot your
Yeah.
biggest buck this year.
I guess probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shannon, Tyler,
Three of us
and-
raised
and
our
I
hands.
raised our
Yeah.
So
So-
meat. I'm gonna get a tag soup patch off of Michigan Buck Bowl. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
Michigan Buck Bowl sells
Oh,
a
yeah.
tag soup
There you go.
patch. I'm gonna get
Yeah.
that.
So yeah, we are in ice fishing season. We finally have enough ice to get out there for again what feels like the first time in forever. I think I ice fished one time last year.
It's been years since
Yeah.
I've ice fished. I mean, I just don't have much safe ice near Grand Rapids.
Well, and I remember talking to Alan Crater too, because he's got a place up in Cadillac near me, and we were talking about snowmobiling, and
Mhm.
again, haven't pulled the snowmobiles out in years,
Mhm.
and I think they have enough ice right now to finally be able to take snowmobiles out, but I don't know. I would argue that ice fishing is my favorite way to fish. I'm obsessed with ice fishing. I love every bit about it. It's just such a different. I think it's more of a communal experience.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how much you guys
Oh,
have ice
yeah.
fished in groups, but I know at my parents' house on the lake, we'll get 5-10 guys out there, and everyone has their shanty set up, and
Mhm.
it's like a little town, a little community. Everyone's got their heaters. You kind of bounce back and forth shanties. Everyone's sharing beers and sharing a good time, and I love ice fishing, and I will be out ice fishing tonight.
We are having a
not
staff
be.
ice fishing day, and Tyler's going to take us out on the lake.
Yeah,
during
I'm-
the week.
I am.
A work
we're
day.
so-
Gotta go all the way to Muskegon.
Shannon's
No,
just the queen
Lansing.
of
Oh,
unfounded
right here?
announcements today.
Yeah.
You can have a free shirt. No, you can't.
No, we are.
No, we talked about it this weekend.
It's
I
staff.
yeah.
We were supposed to be
bonding.
recording last week's podcast from your deer blind, and
Well, we can do ice fishing one.
You need to go see the deer blind and realize that two of us would maybe
Yeah.
fit in there.
he
And
told
then
me
Justin.
it was
We could
big
do
enough
three.
for
Justin.
three.
Yeah.
it'd be tight.
Yeah, it'd be tight. I get it.
We
Steve,
could
it's
not
less
fit
about-
three of us in there
Oh.
with you.
We
Maybe
could do.
if you didn't wear your stupid trapper hat, taking up all that
My
room.
trapper hat is sweet.
We could 100% do one from a shanty though. I've got a
Yeah.
5 or 6 person shanty insulated. That'd be perfect.
I want to see the ice before my fat ass walks out on it.
I mean, I know.
Yeah, we
And
need
you
at
only need 4
least, like-
inches.
In Lansing,
inches.
I mean, so on my
That's
canal,
what you're used
we've got
to.
4. Lake Lansing has 6. I know.
Is it
Cadillac
good ice,
has,
though?
Yeah, it's clear.
It's not slushy ice.
No, it's clear. I mean,
So what's the minimum you want?
4.
then,
So-
Tyler?
so we'll do a little reminder here. The recommended safe ice thickness to walk on is 4 inches.
no ice is truly safe. You got to add that qualifier.
Correct.
Have you
Correct.
not seen the Polar Express?
That's what we'll say.
There is no safe.
The
I was too old
recommended
for Polar
the
Express.
recommended ice thickness is 4 inches to walk on, 5 inches for snowmobiles, 8 to 12 inches for small vehicles, and 10 to 12 inches for pickups and SUVs.
I still would never have the
Oh.
balls to drive a truck out onto
No.
So
frozen
I was
ice.
at,
Ever.
Hard
at the
pass.
show this
I've
I don't
done
weekend.
that
care
before.
how thick I think it is. I would never be able to drive my vehicle out on ice.
At the show this
Oh.
weekend, I was talking to Olivia, our habitat coordinator's boyfriend, and he said he was out on Houghton last weekend, and they were already getting trucks out there.
Jeez.
They were
Oh,
about
yeah.
a foot. They were already about a foot
Yeah,
of ice.
but did you guys see the news in Livonia like 2 weeks ago where a guy's truck ended up in the lake?
I mean, there's already been.
Yeah.
I
There-
want to say someone's already passed away this year from falling through the ice.
Yeah, hard
I'm not
pass.
I did
100%.
hear a story about that.
But I know there's been a lot of reports of people falling through already. So just another reminder: 4 inches is the recommended safe
Mhm.
ice thickness. Number one, always have
Good
ice.
clear ice too.
Yeah, always have ice picks on you if you're going out, especially early and late season. Ice picks can save your life if you fall through and can get you out. Number two, let people know where you're fishing and when you're fishing. That way, if anything does happen, you don't come back.
You can find your body.
Not under the ice.
What's
They
that
might find
trick
it
if you do fall in? Like how you're supposed to get back out on the ice?
So
it
that's
doesn't
where
just
ice
keep
picks come
breaking?
in. I mean ice picks, you kind of walk
is it?
yourself out with them. So you should always have
Um.
ice picks on you, no matter the ice thickness is the recommended for that. I mean, if you're on ice and you're falling through, you want to get as flat as possible and disperse your
yeah,
body
yeah.
weight over the ice. You want to kind of just pull yourself out. But I've never fallen through, luckily. I've fallen through in like
I've
2
seen
inches
one
of
guy.
water, but
Oh,
I've seen
okay.
one guy do it right at shore. It was like waist deep though,
Oh,
so it was pretty
jeez.
funny because we were walking out to go fishing,
And he went
Did you-
through.
and he went.
Did
through.
you turn back around?
No, we went fishing.
Nice.
Sorry,
All
Serge.
right.
I was like 14. This was 20 years ago, and yeah, it was a little private lake, so there was no public access, and we just knocked on the door. My dad knew the guy, and he's like, yeah, sure. So we're the only ones that fish this lake. We go out there and just clean up freaking bluegill. It was awesome.
yeah.
But yeah,
I'm
Serge
so
fell through the
excited.
ice, like maybe knee deep, thigh deep, and
Was he in waders or was it like a no?
just like it's hunting bibs.
Yeah.
Nice.
He just
Well,
sucked
now-
it up.
well, now,
but the
too-
fishing was so good, we just slayed him and got out.
I mean, float suits are becoming so popular now, which is a great tool. So if you're
Yeah.
wearing a float suit and you fall through, I mean,
Float suit.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's a newer. I mean, it's been around for a little while, but it's a nice fishing suit. So it's bibs and a jacket. The
Mhm.
material is
But it's
built.
buoyant.
Yeah. So if you fall through, you might go up to your waist, but it's supposed to at least give you enough buoyancy to pull yourself out a little
yeah, so
easier.
you'll probably dunk and then
Yeah, you're not. It's
Yeah.
not. You don't float. I mean,
Like a
it
bobber,
kind of
yeah.
you
Yeah, I
suspend
get
a
it.
little bit higher.
Yeah,
but
it's different than your shit filling with water and sucking you to the bottom of the lake.
with waders. Yeah.
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 So
Like
be
I said, I'm
careful
a
on
Well,
that.
it
greased up
sounds like
watermelon.
natural
Well,
selection.
my buddy was
I just
out this
bounced some
weekend
shrimp.
and he sent me 2 different days pictures, like 40 fish on the ice just laying there. Like he
Yeah.
is slaying perch right now.
I mean, in my experience, the first time I go out every year is usually the best. I don't
Mhm.
know if it's just because it hasn't seen the pressure yet, or the fish have been, so.
Have you guys ever been on big water ice?
not on the
No,
bay.
I
So-
haven't.
I haven't been on the bay.
The
or
last
anything.
time I was out, well, last time I was out on the bay was in East Bay. Oh, I almost blew up my spot. And we were the whitefish. We were
Drop
getting
me a
Cisco.
pin.
We were getting. I'll drop you a pin. We were getting Cisco through the ice, and so I mean there was like 16 inches of good ice.
Mhm.
And I'm out there sitting on a bucket just jigging. There's people all over the place, and you can hear like the pressure cracks forming,
Oh yeah.
and they just echo through the whole bay.
And it's the craziest sound.
It is
It
insane. So
is
I'm sitting there on a
eerie.
bucket, jigging, and I hear it coming, and it just goes right straight in between my legs. And I'm like looking at all this ice, so I know I'm safe, but it was eerie. But it is an
Oh, yeah,
insane
yeah.
sound because it is so loud.
Well, it's fun to take out people that have never ice fished before, and you bring them out, and there could be 10 inches of ice, and you'll still
Mhm.
get those sounds. And
Yep.
when they hear it, especially if you're in a shanty, it feels like you're not on the ice, right? You're just in this little shanty.
Mhm.
You don't have any idea of what's outside of you, and you hear that, and it's like I'm about to fall through.
Mhm.
And I love watching people's reactions for the first time because they freak out, and it's very funny.
No,
But
it's
I'm
fun.
excited.
Well,
So-
and it's also the best because you just need a bucket and a rod.
Yeah.
You can dig your hole. You gotta have your auger to get through the ice, but you don't
Mhm.
need all the stuff. You don't need the 8-person shanty and the TV and the
Mhm.
griddle. And ice fishing to me sometimes seems like very I don't want to say bougie, but it seems like very like
Yeah, it can be.
yeah, like people do it. I mean, and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. I would much rather be cooking bacon and hanging out in a shanty than sitting on my ass on a bucket outside.
Well, have you seen the ice castles?
They're
They're like so out on like Lake of the
houses,
Woods.
yeah.
Oh, they're like the RVs that go in.
Yeah, it's basically an RV trailer that you pull out, and it's
there's
a
holes in the
camper.
floors.
Yep.
And you pull the holes out.
Mhm.
You walk around in there. It's heated. Those are
It's-
sweet.
it-
I would
well,
love to do a trip like that.
My
though.
dad called me to do a trip like
See,
that. I'm
I
like,
would
when are you
do
leaving?
that.
He goes, tomorrow morning. I'm like, I have a freaking job. Like,
Yeah.
geez, I'm not retired.
We've got to have a member that's got one of those, or we have to know someone that has
Yeah,
one.
I
maybe
would
Dinsmore.
love to do that.
Who?
Jason Dinsmore, NWF. He lives in Minnesota.
Well, let's hit him up.
Yeah.
If
Why
you're,
did
if you're
you-
listening, invite us.
Yeah, if you're listening, Jason,
Why
we now
did-
expect to go fishing with you.
Why did you literally say Minnesota with like a Minnesota accent?
Because
Minnesota.
Minnesota.
You mock
That's what
them.
makes you say it.
You mock them until they cry, and then mock them for crying.
I didn't mock you. You're the
No,
one
I'm
that said
mocking
it.
them. I'm
Oh,
mocking them in
okay.
a stupid accent.
Well,
So get
I-
out and ice fish. Be safe. And as of recording, the Black Lake sturgeon season is on for now,
February 1st.
February 1st.
Last
so,
year was canceled because there's no ice.
Yep. So the spearing
Mm.
of the sturgeon is hopefully going to happen this year.
Oh, we should go up there with a camera.
Yeah. Someone else brought that up to me. I don't remember who it was.
We should call Carol Rose and get hooked up to go.
Yeah, I would. So this is actually the first year I've been doing a lot. I've done it before. I've never done it on my own. I'm trying to get into pike spearing because I don't know if you've ever done it, but it is super
Yeah,
cool.
and your place in Cadillac.
You
is a
need to
fantastic
go-
place to do it.
Go watch
Honestly, my place on the river, the Grand River.
Extreme Outdoorsman. Have you ever met?
Yeah.
So Dill, not Jizo Pete's.
Yeah, he was at the show this weekend.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So he's a big fan of ours too, but he's had some really good pike spearing videos lately. So you can get out. We should get out with him.
So I moved to my house about 3 years ago. In the first year I went out ice fishing, I have a Sportsman's warehouse pretty close to me. So my dad and I go to Sportsman's and we're picking up a new shanty and some other stuff, just stocking up for the year. And I'm talking to the employee there, and we're just shooting the shit, talking about ice fishing. And he goes, "Yeah, let me show you this picture my son took." And he shows me this picture, and it's this guy standing on the canal or on a river, and he's holding like a 42-inch pike, like just a monster pike. And he's like, "Yeah, my son took this through the ice." He's like, "It's actually not that far from here." And I'm looking at the picture, and I'm like, "That's my house in the background." And the guy had taken the picture on my canal where I live, and I look at the guy, I'm like, "That's this place, isn't it?" And he's like, "Don't tell my son I showed you this. Like, he cannot know." It was one of the biggest fish I've seen in the area, right off the Grand River.
Yep.
And it's a 30-foot walk
Wow.
from my house, and that's why I want to get into pike spearing, because I know, number one, the Grand
Because
has it.
because some guy blew up his son's spot.
No, I've
Yeah.
speared
Yeah.
before. I've never speared a pike. I've been spearing with other people. The other thing that is really cool is sight fishing. So you basically cut it. I don't know if you guys have done this. You cut a spearing hole and you just
But you got to have the
jig.
big ass saw to cut that big hole in the ice.
Well, no. So I mean, it's an ice saw.
Yeah.
It's but it's actually not that hard. I mean, you drill out your corners with the auger. You try to get a whole line, and then you just cut the edges and then
Mhm.
push the ice under. But
Yeah.
if you've never sight fished
Dumbass.
before,
Yeah, because you know.
yeah, you dumbass.
sight
God,
fishing
not
is
that
so
hard.
cool because you get a blacked out shanty. You can see so well. I mean, like on my canal too, because it only gets up to at most maybe 5 feet. So in good clarity, I can see the bottom, and I can sit there and I can pick the fish I want to catch because I
Yeah.
can see, there'll be 30 bluegill around my jig, and I can just sit and I say, "Nope, he's too small. He's too small. Oh, he's a good one," and I can pick the one. And that's why I want to
That's
get.
what I
want
said
a
when I
nice
was
saw.
looking for a boyfriend. What do you look for in a shanty?
Insulated.
You want to talk about saying stuff weird? What the hell is that?
Well, I was just thinking about it, and I think I told Tyler at the show too.
We should just go to sport. We should take Shannon to all
Excuse
the
me.
stores. No, my joke needs to land first.
You've
We should
talked
take
enough.
you all of the stores and just have you go in there and be like, I need to find a ice shanty. And then
Shanty.
record them mocking you to their
Just say
face.
stuff wrong.
Yeah.
Completely wrong. No, because I think I told Tyler at the show, I was like, how do you even decide? Because we were at the fishing show this last weekend, and it was all mostly fishing stuff. But it gets to the point where how are these people deciding what? I mean, there was probably
Do you want to fish with a
20
friend or fish alone? That's the size
well,
of
there was
it.
probably 20 different
How many-
shanty brands.
All right,
and
how many people are
companies
going to be there?
Okay, I was talking to Tyler.
Do you want to
I'm
stay?
feeling attacked.
Do you want
I'm
to
pretty
stay
sure
warm?
Tyler can be just as condescending.
but I
What
won't
do
be.
you look for?
So
in
it
a
depends.
shanty?
So there's two different types of shanties mainly. There's sled shanties and there's fold-up shanties. So the
Mhm.
sled are typically pulled behind a snowmobile or an ATV. You can do them on smaller if you're walking out. They're heavier. So if you're out on bigger water, thicker ice, then you want a sled shanty. Those can be
Mhm.
1, 2, 3-person shanties. They have seats built into them. It's in a jet sled basically,
Mhm.
so you can put all your gear in there.
They have a floor too, don't they? Basically.
No. I mean, some of them
Some
do.
of
So the
them.
big thing with
Yeah.
floors when you're ice fishing is a lot of people will get like those puzzle piece gym floors.
Yeah, the foam
and they're
stuff.
cushioned, and you put that down. That way, number one, it insulates from the ice. Number two, you stay dry.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, once you have your heater
Mhm.
going, the snow melts, the ice will melt, the water melts, and then you have a nice dry floor. So with the sled shanty, if you're on bigger ice, you have access to a snowmobile or ATV or whatever. So it basically flips up right over top of you, and it creates the entire shanty right there. It's really easy. You can literally just walk out, flip it, you're fishing.
Mhm.
The fold-up shanties are lighter and more portable, so and they go anywhere from 2 people up to
Like a 6 or 8.
Eskimo
I mean-
and Clam sells these doubles, that can
Yeah.
fit 8
You
people.
can
Oh,
spend as
yeah,
much
I've
money as you
seen-
want
I
to
mean,
spend.
some
Yeah.
of them are 70, 80,
Huge.
100 square feet. I
Yeah.
mean, they're big. So yeah, it depends on how many people you want. If you're walking it out, if you're pulling it out, if you have a sled or an ATV,
Right.
it depends. Personally, 2 years ago, my dad and I bought an insulated Eskimo shanty.
Mhm.
After getting the insulated, I'll never buy another one.
Collapsible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So fold up. It weighs probably 40 pounds. It's not super heavy, and
Yeah.
it's like I mean, honestly, when you look at them, ice fishing shanties are really not that different than ground blinds, like
Yep.
a pop-up ground
They're
blind.
just different
Right,
It's
material.
almost the same technology. And
Yeah.
most of them, it is the same technology where it just
the
pulls-
hub style.
Yeah, you just pull
Yep.
them apart. It pops open. And it's really easy.
I have a fold-up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you get insulated, you'll never go back because it's very rarely are you ice fishing where you're like,
Mhm.
I'm really hot. You know,
Yeah.
once you get in the shanty, you have the heater running. Most of the time, we take our jackets off. We're just fishing in bibs
Mhm.
and sweatshirts, and it's super comfortable.
Do you have a power auger? Do you have a hand?
Yeah. So I have my Milwaukee drill, and then I have a pistol bit auger.
Okay.
The Eskimo pistol bit. So I run an 8-inch, and then my dad's got the ion auger, so it's a lithium ion,
Yeah.
and that
Those
thing's
are sweet.
Oh,
dude.
it
Yeah.
rips through ice.
I got
It's-
my auger for $5. Walked
Is it
into
a drill attachment?
No,
Is it a hand auger?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
walked into Goodwill, and they had it in the box with the protectors on the blade still for $5.
Nice.
Yeah. So.
We have one here at the office. I think it's from.
Oh,
yeah,
we
we do,
do,
don't
we do,
we?
we
Yeah.
do.
It's a
Yeah.
hand crank. It's a
Yeah.
hand
That
auger.
sounds absolutely miserable.
Yeah, the electric augers are. I mean, it's so.
I feel like that's just the way to go.
Well,
now.
and depending on how you fish, so there's a couple. I mean, some guys will just go get a spot. They run the flip up
Riding up
shanty.
on your high horse with all this money for electric augers.
Are you gonna sit? I would love to see you sit there and drill a
That's
hole
what I
in the
do.
ice. With
I
the
always
hand
fish like a
auger back
pilgrim
there.
to respect
I
our
bet you
heritage.
do.
No, you
I bet
don't.
you do.
I don't
You
ice
have a
fish so
power
much.
auger.
I don't. No,
Oh.
He has his $5 one that he got from.
I have
Suck
2
and
augers.
sight.
I mean,
Sorry.
I could get the
You
attachment.
the drill
but,
attachment
yeah.
one. That's what I would
Sorry,
do.
I don't
From
speak
Goodwill.
broke.
Work for a nonprofit, man.
But if you're hole hopping, so if you just are on a bucket with your Vexilar or whatever, and you're walking around, you have to have an
Are
electric auger.
you the
Oh,
guy
yeah.
that goes up to some other guy's shanty and just drills a hole?
Right next to it. Are
Like,
you
you,
the?
yeah.
Are you
like
the,
you drill in the hole and you bump him.
Well, obviously, if they're there, there's fish.
are you the
Right.
spot creeper?
No,
You come sit right
absolutely
next to
not.
somebody.
Absolutely not. I like to be pretty
guys
welcoming.
fishing
Like
here?
if people do come up close by, as long as they're respectful and nice, it doesn't really bother me. But yeah, I'm not a.
What bait you using?
Yeah.
yeah.
What size? What size map?
You got any extras?
I remember going ice fishing as a kid, and we probably just use your phone now, but we used to buy disposable cameras
Mhm.
to light up the glow in the dark jigs.
Well, now I mean,
Oh, really?
like
Yeah.
they sell. So I have a Vexilar is what I use, and they sell attachments now that it's a little cup that plugs into your unit, and you can just drop your glow in the dark jigs and whatever, and it flashes them. It's called a.
Oh.
I think it's
What
a
the hell is a
glow cup.
Vexilar?
So Vexilar is basically a sonar. So it's
Oh,
just
it's the little screen.
it's just a little transducer that drops, and it's You know-
Transducer?
transducer.
Oh, I swear you said transducer.
No douche in the transducer. So you drop it, and then it
I'm
basically
trying
just
to
shows a
learn.
line of where the fish are. So it's just a flashing
Oh,
sonar
yeah.
that goes around.
It's not an attractant though. It's
No, it just
a-
tells you the
okay.
depth, and it tells you where fish are at in the column.
Yeah.
So, like a Vexilar transducer is only good for jigging, or it's mainly good for jigging because you can see where the fish are. You watch your jig drop to right above them or where they're at, and you
Yeah.
can fish them.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a live scope or anything like that, which I think is a game changer to the ice fishing world, even more than open water fishing.
Oh, I
Because
bet.
when you're open water fishing, you can be out on the boat, you have a casting radius, right? But I'm sitting there with a spinning rod, I can get out to 40, 50 yards pretty easily. So I know I can hit a 100-yard diameter. When you're ice fishing, you're just jigging. There's obviously no other
Mhm.
way to do it. So when you have a live scope, you go and drill your first hole, you do a 360 scan, you can see exactly where schools are at.
Yeah.
You go over and drill. And there's a lot of ice fishing tournaments now that don't allow live scope. Like I've
Yeah.
seen a couple
Mm.
posted this year
Mhm.
specifically where they have a tournament and it says no live scope allowed. You can have a Vexilar still or some sort of a flasher, but
But I mean, even though if you image, like you drill a hole, you image 360 around you, you find where the school is. Doesn't going right over that school and drilling a hole like scare them away?
not necessarily.
Won't it like make them scatter as you drill a giant ass hole above their
Fish
head?
are so just like sedated during
Yeah.
the wintertime that they don't really care. And
Oh.
the competition for food is so strong during the winter that
Yeah.
if you're, it depends on the fish, right? Like panfish are going to be a little bit more weary of you drilling a
Skittish.
hole. Yeah, skittish.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're fishing walleye and you're fishing 15, 20 feet or even deeper, then
They're
it's
not
as
even
much
going to
of an-
notice.
Yeah, it's not as much of an issue. So the live scope is really big just because, again, it shows you where the schools are and it says 60 yards this direction. You
Yep.
walk 60
Mhm.
yards, you drop a hole, you're on the school.
Yeah.
So I've never fished one. I don't have one. They're super expensive. I mean, the cheapest to get into it is like $2,000.
I thought you
Um,
had all this money.
Yeah.
I don't know who said that.
I'm sorry, I don't speak broke.
Daddy's money.
Yeah, wait a second.
Yeah, I do not
Do
have
you
one.
guys like cook them up? Like some people
Mhm.
bring out their stoves and stuff and do that. Do you guys usually do that?
I've never
or-
cooked on the ice. That's something we've talked about this year, especially with the buddy heaters. They sell a lot of attachments that you can set a griddle right over top of it and it'll heat it up enough. Or you just bring out a
Yeah.
Coleman stove or something. I've
Yeah.
never done it on the ice. That is something I
Mhm.
really want to do.
Yeah.
Historically we just, try to keep a couple man limit.
Yeah.
And then we do a big fry. So we might do
Okay.
3-4 days of fishing, just keep everything, fillet them, throw them in the freezer.
Nice.
And then once we have enough of a meal, and it's so much
Better
more
check
fun.
up on their possession limits.
Well, if you have 5 people,
Yeah, but your bag limit, you can't have 4 days of bag limit.
but if you're not, I'm not, my bag is always legal. Or
'em
possession,
out. Hey,
possession is always legal.
one of the COs that he's trying to keep in his pocket, better check him out now. Check his freezer.
When we met the CO,
I heard he was.
roams his county,
He collects them like billionaires
Oh.
collect politicians.
a smart guy. What can I say?
making friends in the right places.
Mm.
Ice fishing.
But yeah, I'm a big
America.
fan of trying to have, the best part about fish fries too is you get 5-10 guys over and you do a
Yep.
big fry and just hang out. That's why I say ice fishing is so communal.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So get out there, be safe.
So, yeah.
Mhm.
All right. We also have extended late antler list that is still happening.
No.
It just
No.
finished up
Ended
and then now we're
yesterday.
going, yeah. So that ended and then we're finishing up urban archery as well.
Yep.
You got out hunting.
Yeah.
Recently, right?
This weekend.
Yeah. How'd that go?
Took the kid out, saw a bunch of deer. There was a doe right at last light that was fixing to get it, but she just didn't give me a good shot. So she got a pass, and then that was it. My season ended pretty. Actually, I found out that the neighbors where I shot my buck had a bunch of pictures of him because I had never seen him, or at least I'd never had a picture of him. I think I saw him once. And they named him Crazy Horn. And then when they found out that I shot him, they actually stopped hunting for the year.
They were
Wow.
so they were
Yeah.
targeting him.
Your
Yeah, they were
ass.
targeting him.
Oh, sucks for them.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Away she goes.
it's the way she goes. Sometimes she goes, sometimes she don't.
Sometimes she doesn't go. Away she goes.
So yeah, deer season. It was a good deer season. I miss it. 261 days till bow season.
And we still have small
Start
game.
shooting arrows
Yeah, small game.
till March 31st.
Yep. Try and take a kid out, shoot some squirrels a few times. Usually I go pull tree stands that take
Walk with you
22,
22.
410 or something with me. I'll take Mia and I'll pull her
Mhm.
in the jet sled and then
Have you seen the Savage? The over under the 22 and 410. They
Yeah,
just-
yeah,
it's
yeah.
a takedown. It's like a takedown rifle, and that looks so sweet. That's what I want to get.
I don't like shotguns with squirrel hunting though.
Yeah, most people. There's a big
Why?
divide.
You ruin the meat.
Yeah, because if you blast it full of pellets, instead
Pick
of
'em
a
out.
choose the
Pick 'em
right
out.
load for you.
instead of a headshot with a 22.
Yeah, we do like to sit. Sometimes we'll sit in our tree stands and just sit and wait and shoot them with the 22.
Mhm.
But
It's going to be infuriating during turkey season. You're going to see 700,000 squirrels, but you can't hunt them.
Yeah.
that's what you always see the squirrels.
I do.
When
Yeah.
you can't get them.
We
Mia
used to
asked
have
to
a-
shoot a turkey this year, so that's going to be fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she asked me this weekend. She was asking when the next season was. I told her deer
Mhm.
season was over, and she goes, "I go turkey season in April." She goes, "Can I shoot a turkey this year?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, brother."
Mhm.
So we're gonna go buy her a shotgun.
There you go.
If only we still could get.
You're gonna
these
get her a
turkeys that are
410?
outside the office.
They're out there today.
Where
The
they?
I
whole
saw them-
flock.
I
The
saw
whole
them.
flock was out
They're
there
back
today.
behind the
There's
liquor
some
store on
big
the corner.
toms.
Oh, there are
Like, they're
huge. When I was
huge.
doing that gun transfer just now, the whole flock was out. Big old Tom was sitting
Yeah,
out
they're
there.
huge.
They were back by the liquor store on the corner the other day when I was driving in. They're hanging out there. They go.
Well,
I've never seen one dead on the side of the road. I don't know how no one's hit
There
any
was
around
one
here.
up here last
Really?
year.
Last year, there was one. I almost
They love
purposely
it right
hit one
here.
one time.
But
I was
anyways.
like, oh man.
Salvage.
Pour some out for deer season.
Yep.
It's over for 95% of us.
Send us some pictures too if anybody got any good stuff that they haven't shared with us yet.
Yeah.
Podcast at mucc.org.
Or any ice fishing pictures as well.
Yeah.
Or
those
ice
would be
fishing
good.
reports. Where's the ice thick? How you doing?
Where's
All
the
that.
bite?
Yep.
Let us know.
Make sure you sign it, Big Daddy at the end.
The Michigan Outdoors podcast is proud to partner with Domain Outdoor. Domain hand selects the highest quality seeds and ingredients so you can be confident when you choose Domain. You're choosing legendary products, performance, and customer support. I personally use Comeback Kid in my food plot, which is a cold season perennial and annual mix. I've had great success with it, and I highly recommend it. MUCC members get an exclusive discount at domainoutdoor.com with promo code MUCC10 for 10% off their order. Again, that's MUCC10 for 10% off your order. With Domain Outdoor, turn your property into a domain. This is your land. And we've got some other MUCC updates. So we did draw for the Super Bowl raffle, and we do have a winner.
Yep.
Woo!
Craig Coolidge. So one of our members won the package, 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, $1,500 travel voucher, 3-night hotel stay, a gifting experience, a Saturday afternoon New Orleans jazz brunch with some Hall of Famers, the official on-site lounge that they have at the hotel. Really awesome package. So Craig only bought 2 tickets to the raffle, and some people bought many, many more than that. But his lucky self, he and his wife are going to be heading down to New Orleans. So congratulations, Craig. It was awesome when I gave him the call. You could hear in his voice. He was he was trembling.
I heard you.
He was so jacked up and geeked. It was cool to hear how excited he was and how he's like, I've never won anything like this. He had to take a moment to
You told him to send us pictures and stuff,
yep.
too.
So we talked to him, and he's going to tag us in a bunch of photos and
wanna
share
see.
photos with us of him and his wife going down there. So they should have a great time.
Yeah, I mean, truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience for him. So congratulations, Craig. Also, this weekend, our On the Ground crew won the 2024 Conservation Award from the NWTF. And this award recognized the outstanding work, contributions, and dedication that agencies or individuals have displayed in conserving wildlife, habitat, and other natural resources. So well-deserved by our On the Ground team. Congratulations to them.
Yep, and they were there at the dinner, the banquet, to receive the award. Got some good photos. Check out the Facebook page.
Yep.
And get involved with OTG. Obviously, the program is a lot of fun, and we do really good work. So OTG has events coming up this month in January.
Yeah.
So look us up and get hands-on with conservation.
Lots of volunteer opportunities. If you don't have an event near you, send us an email and let's find out what the closest event to you will be. We can get you out in the field volunteering and making a difference. And then we also had the Ultimate Fishing Show Detroit this weekend, which was an awesome event. We had a booth there Thursday through Sunday. Had a really good time. Saw a ton of people. Got to talk to a lot of people. What were some highlights?
I was only there Sunday afternoon. So it was we got snow again this year, right? Friday night.
Oh, my goodness.
A lot.
Was it dead Friday night?
It was a little slower on Friday, definitely. It seems every time we have a show, especially in Novi at the Suburban Collection Show Place, there will be a big snowstorm on Friday. I mean,
Fishing show
It's been every year, yeah.
Every year.
So yeah, we were laughing about that. The roads were bad. Hopefully everybody that did go to the show, got there and back safely. But we definitely, I think, made up for it on Saturday, because on Saturday the time flew by.
It was
which
packed.
I love when it's packed.
Yeah.
We love when people are coming in the booth, because we love to just chat and hang out and talk to people. So Saturday, I got pretty busy, I would say.
Well, it was pretty refreshing too, because I feel like a lot of time when people reach out to us, they're complaining or they're mad at us or we did something wrong. And it was one of the opportunities where people actually come up and say, hey, I can't tell you how many people came up to me and said, hey, you guys do such great work. You have such a great organization. I'm so thankful for you. Keep up the great work. And it's very refreshing to hear that. Just to hear that people do appreciate us and see the work that we do. But there were a lot of great booths. It was really busy all weekend. Got to talk to a lot of people, members and non-members. So thank you to everyone that stopped by. If you missed us, we have a couple more shows coming up this year.
We need volunteers for still.
Yep. And what are the dates for the next 2 shows?
So we have Outdoor Rama that's coming up in February. I think it's the 20th to the 23rd. We'll be back at Novi Suburban Collection Show Place February 20th to 23rd. We still do
Mhm.
need volunteers. You can sign up at mucc.org under the events tab.
You get free entry to the show.
Yes, you get free entry to the show. During your 4-hour shift, you get 2 15-minute breaks. The badge you get for
Very benevolent of
volunteering.
you.
Well, we need help,
I
but
know.
and then
Yeah.
but this is what a
I
lot
know,
of
I
people-
know, but it's
a
just
lot of
funny the way,
people-
like, I will allow you to leave
Yes.
Yeah.
for 30 minutes
if
and
you
4
can't
hours.
hold your bladder, wear a diaper.
You
'cause
do
won't
have to
be
ask
able
permission to use the
You're not allowed
restroom.
to leave.
No
gotta-
But
visible food or drink.
You have to sell 20 raffle tickets to
Yep.
leave.
yeah, it's fun, and we have people actually who, if they're working like, say they work like 1 to 4 or 1 to 5, they'll
Mhm.
come at 11 because they get in free to the show. They'll spend a couple hours walking around the show.
Yeah.
They'll do their volunteer hours, and then they'll take off. And that badge actually gets you in free the rest of the weekend.
Yeah.
So if you have friends or family that want to come back, we also, for MUCC members, we get a handful of free tickets and buy one, get one free coupons for show tickets. So we can give those out to our members. But February 20th to 23rd, we're at Novi again at Outdoorama. And then March 13th through 16th, we're going to be in Grand Rapids. And we need volunteers for that show as well. So you also do get a free gift. So we've been giving out some of our swag, our apparel, coupons to the store, discounts to the store. So anybody who does come out, we do usually give them a nice little gift for helping out. And so go online at mucc.org, sign up, and come volunteer with us.
If nothing else, come just to hear the insane things that people say to random strangers in public.
Yes,
It's amazing to me.
Yes.
The lack of filter on these people.
Yep.
So,
Shows are a lot of fun. They're
they can be.
they're
We
a
make
lot of
them fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we make them.
We
fun.
make
them
All
fun.
right,
A
buddy.
lot of interesting people at the shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's
A
great
lot.
for people watching too.
That my girlfriend came and that was the first thing she said. She's like, "This is the best people watching I've ever seen in my
Yep.
life."
I always wonder,
Yeah.
like, guys who show up there in like
Mhm.
a float suit.
Yeah.
Like, guys wear fishing gear
Oh yeah.
to them. Like, did you come from fishing, or did you like
Right.
actively choose that outfit to, like, you got up today and you were like, time to put on my
I
bib
think-
so I go to the fishing
I
show.
think they
Like,
do.
I don't know what they're doing, but there are some people who literally you think they just
They
got
want
off the
want people to make sure they know that they're not a high no.
Yeah, exactly.
We see the full camo fits too.
Oh yeah,
You see everything.
You
Yeah,
see
Love
it's
it.
amazing.
everything.
All
It's
right.
hilarious.
So if you come to the next show, stop by, come say hi, check out the booth.
Mhm.
And then we also have our year-end appeal still going on and our 2025 calendar is still available.
Yep. So in your mailbox should already be the year-end appeal. There's also a way to donate online if you didn't get the printed version. It goes through all the things that we do. Some of the stats that Justin mentioned earlier about policy and advocacy work is there. All of the great accomplishments and success we've had for the year of 2024 is all laid out in that year-end appeal. We're building a webpage still to highlight that as well. But the donations help our mission thrive and grow. And so all the donations that we can get at this year-end of year-end giving, first year giving, make sure to donate to MUCC so that we can continue to conserve, protect, and enhance and protect our right to hunt, fish, and trap. And so year-end appeal is huge. Calendars are still for sale. So if you haven't sent your calendar back yet, your donation, send that back. You can purchase those on the store as well. The MUCC store, there's a link at mucc.org. But those calendars are awesome because it has all of your season dates, application periods, openers, closers. It's got your show dates. It's got your NRC meeting dates. So best way to stay on track as an outdoorsman or an outdoorswoman and make a great gift. And so we're only 13 days into January. So still plenty of time to get your calendar. Also, keep your eyes out for the sweepstakes entry forms that are coming out in the mail. By the time this drops and airs, they'll be at your house within a week of this airing. So 2025 sweepstakes is started up. We give away 2 guns a month, and we give away 2 J's gift cards a month. So you have the chance to be one of the 2 winners every month for a gun a month. And you also have a chance to win a $150 or a $250 gift card. And even if you win, your name goes back in the hat for the drawing. So if you win, you don't get pulled out. We draw it every month. And so we give away 24 guns a year. We give away 24 gift cards. And so keep an eye out for the sweepstakes entry forms that are coming. Please make a donation when you enter and understand that goes to all the great work we do.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Everybody get your clapping.
All of our event dates are set. So check the website for all
Except
our,
for the one my dad's apparently trying to do.
Yes, with
Uh-oh.
Thunder Down Under.
No.
So
Nope. You hear what you want to hear, Steve.
So check out all of our great events. We've got an event every month from April all the way through September. So there's something in all different corners of the state. So come on out and join one of our events.
Marco,
All right.
Yeah.
happy Shannon's second podcast. First
Yeah.
First one to
I
make it.
know.
one. Tyler screwed up.
Man.
Yeah,
That's
Tyler
nice.
screwed up.
All right. Well, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next episode.
Peace.